Let's bring on the mobile external if you're using public equipment or just launch whatever you use for SSH connection on your so there are no obligatory program. I'm not going to introduce anything. I will just answer questions and make personal stops. If you want, I can briefly go over this chart once again. So, for the last homework that you have submitted, there was a suggested step of computing and visualizing orbitals, which most of you skipped. But towards next homework, which will be like after the weekend, some of us will be busy during the weekend, but if you can. So when we meet next Wednesday, I'll show a couple of tricks that one can do with orbitals. So if you have files, it will be good. So give me a little sign if you are not comfortable with either idea or the protocol of getting this molecular dynamics and then exploring electronic structure upon system has been thermalized.
I feel comfortable. I'm just getting errors.
Okay, then we'll just maybe this today I will make a circle in other directions. So it will be fair. But anyone has questions with this setting up momentum and running stuff? Yes?
I guess it's specific to mine.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, when you do density of states, select much smaller value for width, 10 or 100 times smaller. Otherwise, yes. Because otherwise your peaks from occupied and unoccupied overlap and it is not possible to analyze.
So should I just be running like HSC jobs so I can do transition exits?
Please repeat the question.
To simulate like my system getting hit with light, should I be running an HSC job on it and then do transition exits after that?
There is nothing wrong, but here we will not get to transition density highly likely, because semester is basically done, right?
So
just explore it under thermal excitation and compare basic electronic structure properties before and after molecular dynamics. That's it. It will it will be more than sufficient to extract, derive some valuable observations. Do not overwork. Just that's very simple. The simple task, and I don't know if I need to pronounce it, but the theory and practical aspects of computation is not the whole science. There is a substantial human relations factor in ability to interpret and explain what you see to others. And for some people, it takes much more effort than actual calculations. And to be balanced, you need this component. Anyone else needs any clarification on this diagram? So only technical problems, no questions in principle. No? Did you figure out your program balance and electronic configuration selection? Yes. What I see with the router looks like a double. I will take it with this. Okay. Do you need to you're fine with me going as a way also. But you can fix it. You can fix it manually.
Well, it's great draft. It says that it's like 797. But the original Gaussian model says that there's like 3,000.
Before we start this one-to-one talks, maybe some of the things that we will be interesting to others. So, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, oxygen, fluorine. What is next? Argon?
Neon.
No, okay. So, what is the number of electrons for carbon atom?
6.
So 1 S2, 2 S2, 2 P2. Right? So it is in Mother Nature. What is number of electrons for carbon in wasp?
It'll be 2, isn't
No.
it?
Let's take a bet. One bet was 2.
Can I redo my bet?
Huh?
4?
He-
Yes, no, that's better.
Okay, so it is 4. Because the previous shell is completely occupied and it doesn't participate in most of chemistry, right? Does it resolve your...
More than mine.
Okay, so for all electrons, the completed valence shells are removed, and it is one of the reasons why it works a little quicker than Gaussian. It's an approximation. If one would put all electrons in wasp, it will not overbid. And if you just a second, if you look through directory where you borrow potentials for each element, if you inspect this directory, you will see that for each element there are more than one podcasts, and some of them explicitly tell like including valence electrons or taking relativistic corrections. So you can match, toss, select based on what you need. But in basic calculation, it takes only unfilled valence shells, like 1 electron for sodium, 7 electrons for chlorine. I will do actual circle in this direction, but it is just quick verbal things. Okay, very good. What is the number of coal? 480. Then you okay, by root. Okay, okay. But you need to select these two numbers. That this one is smaller, yes, smaller, and this one is bigger than.
After that, that next one.
Uh-huh. I will look for. Can you do that Word?
Yeah, just turn.
So I didn't start it circling formally, yes, yet. But why we are doing things ahead? Because for some systems, molecular dynamics can take very long time. And if you are submitting jobs today, some of them will be sitting. Let me write it somewhere. If I bring up a script for going on Quarry on NERSC with substantial amount of hours, it may not get into queue immediately. One thing, and another thing that heating and molecular dynamics, especially for mid-sized and large systems, can take substantial time. So there is no chance to do this in last hour or last day before any due date. And it is, if you didn't start it, one of the main tasks for today is to launch molecular dynamics, like heating and molecular dynamics for your system, so that even if you elect to do nothing during the weekend, by the time of the next lab, you will have molecular dynamics completed. And we cannot count on your jobs starting immediately. The templates that so there are a couple of templates here. And if you look onto so is font big enough for everyone, or should I enlarge it? I'll go with enlarge. I see question in the eyes.
Squinty.
So the values selected here are very pathetic. If you are doing anything more than like 30, 40 atoms, do not follow it. It will ruin your project. It will save resources for others, but it will not get you anywhere. So if first, replace the word debug here to regular, because otherwise you will not be able to put more than 30 minutes. If your system is small, 30 minutes is fine, but if if you need to just quickly take a single point, 30 minutes is fine. But if you want like 1,000 steps molecular dynamics, most of systems will not complete it. So put here like 20 hours or at least 8 hours, right? And then debug queue will not accept anything more than 30 minutes. So then you need to change to regular. And regular will sit in a queue for like 1 day. Yes?
Could you explain premium?
Premium works on Edison, and it charges me like twice or factor 4, but it goes quicker to the queue.
Should we avoid it?
Well, I prefer you complete your projects.
Okay.
It's more higher priority than saving resources. Like if you can submit and try something on regular, and if you see that it doesn't get anywhere, then run with premium.
And there's a max amount premium, so be careful. Use it
No. The one who tries it first is not in danger. The rest of the class in danger, because there is no more than 5 jobs in the queue with a premium status.
Yeah.
So and then the thing that we discussed with Ben. Here, minus n1 is how many boxes, how many nodes, and here is how many cores. So if you increase this number, this number should be increased proportionally. Like if you put like 10 here, you add 0 here. Right? Good? Again, saving of resources is not the main task. It's fine to use them, but just keep an eye not to do unnecessary waste of resources. Here is an example. If you are doing single point, if you're doing NSW equals 0, and system is small, you can still get with humble parameters. Because the account is charged at the instant you submit the job. It doesn't care whether your job finished earlier or sooner. It charges the number of time times number of CPUs. Right at that instant when you type SQ or whatever SBatch. Okay.
So there's something wrong. I'm trying to do the spectra stuff following what we did here, but I have nothing in my wave car, and I'm very confused about this, and I can't call this thing.
Let's check first and then you.
Okay, okay.
So without wave car, any spectra
So I must have picked the wrong ink. Oh, okay.
So molecular dynamics is most expensive communication.
Okay.
As soon as you have done it, you are on the safe side. Yes, if the wave car is missing, you need to run those points again. But you do not need to do overall non-codings. You can do the same thing as we do all the time. Copy point current postcard.
Right.
Open new directory.
Right.
And in this new directory, use the point car full. I shouldn't be ambitious, but maybe some of you need this. Saying, wait, so you copy.
So in this step, so what were you doing here? Right, except
Wait.
every.
So you copy concurrent to postcard.
Right, for the new stuff I'm going to be doing.
And then you, in your new directory,
Yes.
you introduce the in-car, the same in-car as you use for
The old stuff.
geometry optimization.
The
old
geometry,
stuff.
the old stuff, like
Put-
the original
Yes.
things. Okay.
Put there NSW equals 0 because you are not going to actually optimize. You need the geometries that you inherit from molecular dynamics.
Okay, so
We can do it together practically, but let's discuss the steps first and then.
right. No, actually, I feel like I know this pretty well. I just want to make sure I grab the right in-car. So it's not going to be, this is why I was looking at this one. This is not the right one.
No, this is in-car for updating positions of ions according to Newton's equation for molecular dynamics.
Right, okay, so that's why we said this was not the right one.
And you do not erase anything in your directory.
No, I don't.
In this directory, because you may come back and check.
Right. Let's just give me 1 second here, because I gotta find where that files were.
Which
I think
files?
it
Which
was
files?
the epoxy. I think it was just originally the epoxy is what it
Oh,
was.
please go back where you were.
Oh, okay, sure.
I have an idea that you can do everything yourself efficiently, but I just suggest
Okay,
some
so here.
shortcuts. Okay, so you call the directory epoxy molecular dynamics, like run number 16.
Right,
Now
right.
let's do make directory
either as a subdirectory here or a parallel. Because
That's fine, I can do it, if I keep everything in the same, kind of like,
So it is a suggestion. You
Yeah.
can.
I don't need to reinvent the wheel, I like to make it easier.
So we repeat,
Yes,
and then we make a label that it will be like spectrum.
right, and then I know what to do with
Okay.
that, okay.
Now we copy everything from here to there. Well, actually, you need only like postcard, but I don't have patience for this.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, there are subdirectory. It's fine. No. Go into the directory. Copy cont card into postcard. Right?
Mm-hmm,
Removing the in card
correct.
because it can be
That's
video
right.
recorded. And now copy from and something that tells about
Oh, geometry, the GM,
organization into here.
right.
But actually, we need to call it as in card.
Right, correct.
Okay?
Okay, perfect.
And now we go inside and make sure that we do not update. Otherwise, we can come back into original configuration.
That has
So
to be zero.
NSW, and just in case it's not required, but if you do it like this,
Okay,
so that it doesn't is not subject for breaking. Careful with this form. I'm not sure if it is up to date. Maybe we should throw it away. it will be a little boring if we do just room temperature. So if you set up 2000 Kelvin, you may see some drastic changes.
Okay.
And later on, if you want to bring this work to like publication stage, you can consider this 2000 Kelvin as a limiting case and then drop down to smaller value. But you should respect human passions or lack of it. Personally, your passions, and if you run substantial amount of time with 300 Kelvin and you see nothing, you will be not impressed.
Fair enough.
We can talk later outside of the public frames of the class. The molecular dynamics, in some sense, replaces normal modes analysis.
Okay.
Because for small kinetic energy, molecular dynamics still follows its like expands as normal mode elongations altogether, so it follows the same frequencies. But the molecular dynamics doesn't need to diagonalize force matrix. It doesn't need to compute elongations of each atom to compute the force matrix. So it like if you have 1000 atoms, you need 3000 degrees of freedom and like 6000 elongations, which like 6000 ionic steps, which is huge. And instead, you can do maybe like 1000 of ionic steps along molecular dynamics, do Fourier transform and extract most of the frequencies. So it's numerical could be more efficient. But it's not for the course, it's just for trying to convert you from normal modes to molecular dynamics.
Yeah.
For non-ideated.
Okay. And this, my next question is along the lines of the homework assignment that was due yesterday. So I still had trouble getting a couple things to work. So when I tried to delete those entries from the OS strength file and then make the absorption spectra, it still didn't work. This is the OS strength file.
No. Oh, okay. It's not zero. Okay, let me just do something. So copy post-trader strings into temporary, and then we can remove, because we will need this name later. Now grep. We do not need transitions from occupied to occupied. We need this one, right? Cos into cos. Okay, I see. It looks like your input or input overlap was remove Now it starts from 476. And by the way,
So
when
when
ask questions, I'm happy to listen and answer.
So when you set input overlap to a range that excludes previous to a certain number, do you have to edit energy pop to exclude those as well?
I'll make just a little announcement. Some of you are trying to do absorption spectra, and here are some ideas how the code that extracts oscillator strengths from wavecar works. So it reads two files, or actually three. Input overlap, energy pop, and wavecar. And although we are surrounded by arrays of machines that make some control, these codes do not have control. So it's a responsibility of a human to make sure that these files are consistent. Specifically, the size of energy pop at the time when you run for oscillator strengths should match what is in the input overlap. Typically, if you start from input overlap and then extract energy pop from outcar, they will be consistent. But some of us may run for energy pop once, then modify input overlap, and then run the code that generates oscillator strengths. And this would create an error. Okay? You got it. Yeah. And develop questions. I will continue, sir.
And did you change that number?
Yes.
Okay.
There are additional brands of this of the codes that do spectra, and they take fractional occupations into account. But here we do not need it. By the way, the system is well, whatever system it is. It looks like it is not optimized, right?
It has.
But let's save what we have. So what do you want it to do?
That when I look in the out card of like these forces seem
Not forces. Forget about forces. Gap
yep.
is not open,
Okay.
right? Which is okay if you run long enough optimization, it should open.
Okay. So if I see something like this where the forces are
Forget about forces.
Like
No one needs them. Only these jerks who rely on normal modes care about forces. All normal people don't.
that's still it's
Do not tell it to your advisor.
But it still seems to me like that would signify a relaxed and optimized system if there's small forces acting on the atoms, right?
Well, you can continue optimizing until energy conversion, and there are situations when it comes to energy minimum and doesn't go anywhere, but the positions of there are still forces. It could be like ambiguity between different directions. So some systems don't have absolute minimum, or it's not a big problem. Look on total energy because it is much easier.
And so that should fix the absorption spectrum.
I hope so.
Also, when I was
Oh, you did. I know you didn't optimize, but you did replace dopants with civic, right?
this is for the entire silicon thing. This was the only
But it was not optimized. You took geometry from dope.
I replaced, and then I
Yes,
ran
yes,
it through
because,
again.
because you run for single point, not for optimization.
For this one, I thought I did a optimization.
Okay. Okay, good, but
I guess it only did 39.
Yeah.
is it different? Maybe we should take this this extract command works only either a single point. If you do optimization, it will take first rather than last. So you may copy concurrent to postcurrent one single point. And then data will be a little more reliable. See here, the gap is not terribly big, but at least it is open. It looks a little. It gives me suspicion about too small gap.
I can run it through.
Yeah, but right now, as a goal of this course and this exercise, do not waste your time onto doing too much precise optimization. Better practice like doing those spectra and molecular dynamics. If you sense that it will bring you to something more than a course work, you can iterate and update it later. Right now, do not waste time, do not like stop on the first barrier and refine it into perfection. Just go forward. Anything else?
One more thing. So when I tried visualizing the orbitals for just this system, it worked for the other ones, but for just the one where it's just silicon.
What?
Oh, I'm on there.
No, there is.
Yeah, I'm on. I was thinking about that. Anyway, when I tried opening the cube files in Gauss View for just this one, like when I tried visualizing the surface, it like popped out an error and said something about trouble generating mesh and maybe ISO value is out of range.
So make sure that you inherit wave color from previous run. If you didn't have wave color in the run for orbitals, then you have, even if you draw some orbitals, they will be correct. So make sure you inherit wave color. Please remind me next time. Right now it is too early. I do have scripts for integrating orbitals and bringing them, projecting them into one dimension.
Okay.
They're very basic. You can write similar yourself, but just don't waste time. Show something.
Okay.
Next Wednesday it will be appropriate.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think that's it for now.
I'm gonna try my stuff.
You need time to set up your equipment?
Well, I think I'm there. I just need to get DOS of the MD. I think I'm
So
done.
your MD is done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well,
That's right.
bring, oh, you do not bring your personal equipment, you will
I
use
left
public.
it. I forgot it at home. My apologies.
That's it, not a problem. Okay.
Yesterday, the trouble which I got was Corey, when I was trying to heat, there is saying there is no heating in Corey. What is it?
Okay, but oh, you have cone car with some momentum, which is good. So it's not so bad. More in car.
This is actually MD in car.
Okay. And you're telling that you're telling that inside the directories there is no coupling, geometry, okay, let's just copy it there. Hit into pin in car directory. Not more, copy. Now it is there. Yeah. Okay. And sometimes it is more interesting to go onto bigger temperatures. It may break your polymer. And you were right in the previous one that you used smaller number.
Yeah.
How come? Submit everything here. So we are on a query. So we may use query debug. Debug one is most pathetic, but then you need to use something more advanced. And which system do you explore? Huh? Here in this directory, what is the system?
PMMA.
PMMA?
One.
Are you sure?
Well, I was just wondering if it was, the small system or not.
And it's not PMMA one. It's something different. Yeah, this is a very small system. It may be some other test system. PMMA one is well, I don't care right now. I just need the name of the system. Okay, we'll figure out. So submit. How to submit? S fetch.
Oscar, after the geometry optimization you are talking about?
Yes. Query debug. Okay. S Q. If if you have nothing else to do, you can just watch how this
So the only
thing progresses.
So the only problem, we cannot visualize the any output file in core. Visualization happens in clean photon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to switch from here to there, always.
Yes. But you can.
But all mass calculation can be done in core itself, no?
Mm-hmm. It's standard situation. Typically, powerful clusters do not allow for visualization.
Mm-hmm.
Where is yours? Here. So it's still in priority, and you can also add like. So as soon the job will run, you will see how files are appearing there.
That's your issue. That's your issue. You're supposed to start it.
And you can come back to this thing or just sit and meditate and watch how it completes. So okay. See, it's a little more atoms and larger simulation. So, while other things are running, you may try to explore density of states and spectrum of this model in this directory. Also visualize it, and later on to launch heating and molecular dynamics code. But let me show what it is here. You may like it. I don't know.
Okay. Because you don't want to overlap anything. Is this folder empty? Oh, that folder. Yeah. Okay, no such file address. That means there's a typo.
I just do something. You don't need to memorize it. Just do it for my own convenience.
So are you copying from
One, two,
Corey to Corey? Yeah.
3, 4, 5.
So this Corey to Corey might be the same. All that does, let's check now LS.
Oh, I already
Okay,
created
so what I did
before
was
movie.
that // it copies all your
Just in case if the
and then you're just picking the file.
let's just copy everything from
So the weird thing is
directory
that
and
you want to
query
go back
into
one
here.
folder once. If you go back again, you have to type // or // So every time you go back one, you have to add the //
Everything, or even better, sync.
Or that's what I think. I remember you doing something like
Everything
that.
from here into photon, CHEM, and just you.
So,
Two strands.
good comment.
Total 4
So
molecules.
now you're trying to make the heating files.
So 4 monomer one strand, 4 monomer which is already realistic.
The cartoon
I think when you run the optimization, they are trying to repel naturally. But it is just optimization. If you run molecular dynamics, maybe you'll do something more interesting.
So they are not connected, like two molecules are just molecular.
No, it's 2 strands.
Two strands, okay. Two polymer strands. Okay. But there will be some potential between them, no?
Yes.
To replace ink here. Then the next one is.
So you
Want to check out the
You may check the model you already started, PMMA with just 2 monomers and no additional strands into this one and see difference. And you can try to hit and run molecular dynamics for both of them.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. So right now we are just heating is finished now because you copied in car. No, just you optimize the structure only. No?
It is only optimization. I didn't start at the heating. Yes.
We have an input concar file and output. Last after molecular dynamics, we have a concar file, no? Like telling about the trajectory after what happens after the molecular dynamics. So what will be the information we get from that initial concar file to the after molecular dynamics run concar file? We'll get the trajectory how the atoms are moved in that confinement.
Okay, I've got your question and I'm going to answer it for everyone. So let me attract an attention and make a comment inspired by Anas. So he asked important scientific and philosophical question like if along this path from optimized geometry to geometry after molecular dynamics, what are our signatures? Are we showing only limited information? Yes, we are. So if we skip, just close eyes on what is going during molecular dynamics and take only the last snapshot of the dynamics, right? And explore just band gap, dose, absorption. It is not the whole information about the system. It is limited information, but it will show as signatures. Like if your originally your system that Anas is doing is open gap dielectric, right? Maybe during molecular dynamics some bonds will break and it will dark, right? If you start burning your plexiglass, it may change color, right? So you may see it, maybe not. So you're exploring property of the system after last snapshot of molecular dynamics. Yes, it is very interesting to observe the process of molecular dynamics. You can do movie, and it will be one of the assignments for next homework, or maybe next, but you will not leave the course without doing a movie and publishing on YouTube. So converting molecular dynamics into movie file, processing it with VMD, and uploading to YouTube. It's critically necessary. Even if it will be not an assignment for next Tuesday, it is mandatory part of the course. There are additional scripts that help to analyze the trajectory. It could be just too much for this limited course, but there are ways. And by the way, one of these courses was cooperatively written together with your advisor that allows to extract mass spectra from the molecular dynamics and shows if how frequently bond breaking and bond formation happens. Those are cool and interesting things, but let's start with something simple that shows you a variety of opportunities. Make sense? Yes.
I have a critical question.
I hope that I have a critical answer.
Okay, so I just realized there's a problem, and the reason is I did the molecular dynamics first, right? And I have all these files in two more, cations and anions, right? Have this, like a stepwise, right? My problem is if I run this, I have it for the neutral case in this folder, but if I run it with these guys, I'm running the same file again. Don't I grab the concar in all this from the anion ones, the previous ones I did in MD? The only thing I changed is the NCAR?
Exactly.
Okay, because you have to have these or you're not going to count for that electron change, right?
I understand you. I believe that I understand your question. So you are asking question whether all of your anions and cations stem from the same root as a tree,
Yes.
or subsequently inherit results of the previous branch.
Well,
I would vote for everyone comes from the same root,
okay.
and then it will be more pure experiment. So you have the same initial conditions, and you explore response of a system to change of the electronic configuration.
So I want to make sure I understand this. So right now I got the one job running, or it's going to be running, right? I have to have that done first before I can continue.
No, you can submit 100 jobs.
But I'm just kind of confused though, because if I'm using all of these from the same neutral file, we'll call it neutral, right? I have to grab them for the other charged systems I made with the MD, right? I don't know if I don't know if I'm saying this right. Because in MD for the charged systems.
No, you do not inherit
Okay.
concar for next for higher charge from the dynamic for lower charge. No.
No. I meant like I only have 3 up, 3 down, right? I have the neutral, I have the anionic, 3 up, and then 3 down, right? So and it's going by 2. So my highest is +6, whatever, -6, -4, -2 neutral, right? So what I'm saying for each subfolder I'm making in this directory for my spec, do I grab the concar, the K points, and the popcar from those folders where I did the MD?
Exactly, of course.
Okay,
Yes.
because you need that information, or else you're reproducing this again. You're doing 6, 7 optimizations for the neutral structure. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes,
what
yes.
I was trying, because I copied.
Do not forget to add the number of electrons line
Oh
everywhere.
no!
Everywhere, because
You're
if you
talking that's in the NCAR, right?
yes.
That's probably what I forgot to do, because
Yes, because otherwise you will do.
that's what I was missing.
It will be
Okay.
geometry for charge system, but you suddenly return all charges and consider it in the.
It'll be in the neutral in the
Neutral
zero-
electronic
zero- okay.
configuration.
That's the key word. So that's why I was confused. So basically, that was 2 questions then. So I make sure I grab those previous files from those individual folders that I did MD, just these guys right here, and then my NCAR, I need the number of electrons to correspond with those folders information. Okay, I got it.
Good.
No.
And also do not, if your molecular dynamics are done, do not wait for the rest of the class. For each of your molecular dynamics, create movies, upload to YouTube, and
That's right.
share with me.
Okay.
I won't. I do not have time to look into your directory,
No,
but I
no,
will have
that's
time
fine.
to watch on the YouTube.
Okay, sounds great. Awesome.
Kind of done.
Yeah. So now I can start keeping notes.
Oh, set up your church. You're the next. Anything left? Can I attract attention of, if you permit, can I attract attention of everyone to your screen? So look what Sudipta has with his density of states.
which is like really nice image, but we do not have any valuable information below, like we need only the range of a gap and maybe like 3 electron volts of occupied and 2 or 3 electron volts of unoccupied. The rest is not needed. So you may try a way how to
Something like this?
wait. Bring it back. How to trim these parts, not in a sense of data, but in sense of modifying GNU prog script. There is a line for range, right? And you can manually set up range from like 12 to like 19, and then it will look more informative. There is nothing scientific in it. It's just more better way to sneak into brain of a person who looks on your data. More garbage, less garbage, more useful information. Yeah, thank you.
So you basically mean this type of thing?
No, here you still brought here. Probably here you use different input overlap, right?
Yes.
No. Keep input overlap with many states, but modify X range parameter in the GNU prog.
Okay.
Modify GNU prog code, or look for GNU prog that was already modified. Because can you bring in yours that you are just showing? Like if you do not have hard UV light, you're not going to access this part.
Yeah.
You will go only from here to there, and the rest is useless for chemistry and visible spectroscopy.
Okay, so far, I'm just trying to run the MD. I copied the folders from.
It's a skull. Very scary.
I copied the folders from the heating we did yesterday, and I made a whole new directory, patch MD, and I'm trying to like run MD on it now.
What is patch?
We just randomly set patch up yesterday.
It's not abbreviation for something smart and scientific.
No, that's
Okay, I thought it is. So,
what I'm trying to do right now.
but are there problems that you want me to help solving, or
Oh no, I'm just.
or you're happy and everything goes?
I'm just like learning from both of them.
But develop questions while I'm here,
Okay.
and also when I'm not here, through emails, I'll be happy to.
Okay. No problem. We'll do. I'm just like I'm still like placing everything. So after this, I'll see the next step, and then after that, I'll try to like do the plotting, and let's see how that turns out.
Okay. You don't have problems with.
No, not yet. When I get the when I get the address, I will contact you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Ça va bien, merci. Et toi?
Comme ci, comme ça.
So I did the MD, and I wanted to do grep E, but it wasn't. Grabbing anything.
Which fantasy brought you to the idea to do grep E?
I thought we needed the Fermi.
Oh, okay. Let me. Can we?
Of course.
Oh, thank you.
I was.
Yeah,
I
we need
apologize.
like, that's okay.
I need whatever those two things show me.
It is what you wanted,
Well,
and you need only the last one.
the question here is grep infer outcar. I wanted to record the 3 values and the names because it gives me like alpha, beta,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever else. And so like, I will get E Fermi and I'll get alpha beta from that.
Yeah, yeah, good. Do you have this?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'll grab that code. Let me try it, and I assume this is the range that we can get the better view. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me take this.
Remove M.
Okay.
Huh, very organized.
Well, the idea is I don't know what I'm doing, so I have to.
Yeah. Can you tell me what you are doing? Just generally big goal.
Yeah, colon. Oh, big goal. Well, I assume this density of states is going to. We want to see the difference between them two, to see how much it's changed with the inputs we put into it, right? So, like, how much energy has it absorbed? How much?
Okay.
Not necessarily from density of states, but that's like an indicator.
So
Of something.
you're extracting density of states from one of your configurations, but the question is which configurations you are comparing. Are you taking ground state neutral before and after molecular dynamics, or you are also exploring like grounded excited or grounded charged?
I haven't done charged yet. No, right now I'm just.
Did you do excited?
I just put in heat because
That's good. It is what I recommended.
Mhm,
I'm no objections, but it's a free country. You can do opposite to what is advised. It's normal.
Yeah, I'll probably do both. That's fine. It's
Okay.
just,
Okay. So let me. Okay. Do you have DOS for this?
I haven't. I'm about to make my. After I got the Fermi stuff, I was about to get the
That's
DOS.
good. Okay, let's do it together, and then go further. Okay.
So what? Are you on the plot TT? Well, this is it.
No. Wait. From like -6 to 1. From -7 to 2. Okay. Fermi. What did you get?
Negative 4.187.
Okay. I hate typing. If there is a way to practice laziness and copy paste.
Well, errors happen when you're.
Number of atoms?
I had
62. Yeah, I found it. Grab number of ions. 62. Number of electrons? 2, 2, 4. Gap doesn't matter.
What is the new name?
I hit. You might want to change the name from DOS to like DOS.
No, 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 it will not work.
Okay.
GNU what?
I don't remember what I put. That's the problem.
DOS?
Where is it?
Okay, let's do DOS Fermi. PS2P. Yes.
Go ahead and like exit out of the new plot. Go back into it. Exit out of the new plot. Out of the new plot, and then go back in.
I don't know why.
So, what is the chemical name of the system?
Polymer FMD was what we just did.
Okay.
MD.
Right, it's really hard to see.
Is it here after molecular dynamics?
Yeah, poly F optimization is.
You already have DOS for that.
Oh, what was your question?
What is the chemical name of this polymer?
I don't know. Remember you sent me the structures, and I just
Yes.
said polymer F. I haven't looked at the name.
You may
I know. when they-
practice curiosity and find.
Yes.
And try to get help from certified chemists, around us.
Yeah. I'll,
It'd be nice to him, bring him some candy, and maybe he'll answer the question. Maybe.
should be on my desktop. Yeah.
So, but this should be identical.
Okay, so you know the name of your file?
What?
Hoping.
So he told what he needs to stimulate his health. Let me do something. Photon? Oh, photon. You're not doing it on the Cori yet.
Everything's been done on Cori. I've already transferred it over to
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Photon.
Okay, good. Now I see. Chemistry. Poly F and D.
Yeah, you should try that. Even though we're in trying to
Woohoo.
use lots. I don't
And
Okay.
then the other PDF is
I don't know, actually. We
ground
quite
state.
honestly. Okay, no problem.
I will say.
Wait. What's it? This one is after molecular dynamics,
I don't know. I've never seen that graph before.
but it is what we did together right now.
Okay. Deal.
But
Trust
what
you.
what you need to
Let's
do?
grab
You don't need to trust me, because it is your problem and you carry all responsibilities. But you may want to copy these images into a Word file, which will serve as a seed of your report,
Yeah. Yep.
and to label it as we typically do for research papers. Write figure caption. What is it, to your best understanding?
So I'll have to read more into it to give you that answer. But to say, what's the best caption? I would say density
Come
of
on, no,
states,
no, no.
electroenergy,
Okay.
orbitals,
Yes,
occupation.
yes. I'm not putting your skills and knowledge in doubt.
Yeah.
There is a unique thing that no one in this world except you can do. So, specifically, what is the difference between these two density of states? I suspect that this one is before optimization, this one is before molecular dynamics, and this one is after molecular
Yeah,
dynamics.
so what I'm going to say is from with that, it's telling me a lot of electrons have left the system because there's less orbitals occupied. Oh, I suppose you only went to this range. I was looking on the amount of red relative
No,
to the previous.
you don't need much more away from this gap region. You're going to provide analysis, which
Yeah.
is more for like actual writing of results section. Caption is just basic explanation what it is. So what I would say that the gap here is like from 1 to 3, about 2 electron volts, and here is like from 0.5 to 1.3 is like only 1 electron volt. This is my observation, and these two states become like sparser. Here it was like all very dense, and here it becomes sparse individual levels.
Yeah, so it's leading to a lot of more questions. What does that mean? I'm trying to relate that to the structure, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So
But let's separate oranges from apples. There are two components. First, like you are single person, single personality, but you can serve in 2 roles, more than 2 roles. First, you can serve as your own director of your research project that needs to analyze deep insight. In second role, you serve as technician of yourself. Right now, you need to wear a hat of technician. Just collect data, put them in an organized way in the protocol, in the report, and then after they're put, then you switch hat into head of director and you try to analyze what it is.
Yep.
Just because otherwise, if you do not do this organization, if you mix activities, you will get tired and no time to complete things. Again, you do as it's only a suggestion you can.
It's like if someone asked me, well, what does this mean? I'm like,
So I wouldn't wait. I would do it right away. However you do it.
Yeah, you can go to another Word document and then I can send it to my site.
Maybe you can do it in a smarter way. How to open
You want to click that box. Yeah, there you go. You just go.
What are you working on now? You need a Conca. You need to convert Conca. Okay. I'll show you that copy this time. Yeah, so copy.
You'll fix it later.
I got you. Yeah, I can snip it and put it on the.
That's kind of
You already have stuff selected, I think. That's what the sounds part seems that way. Something's going on.
No? Oh.
I got it. Don't worry. I got
Okay,
it.
okay. And then write like figure 1 or whatever. Dose of polymer upon MD at 2000 Kelvin. Whatever, you fix the numbers. Okay, it's not 2000, it's like more, less.
500.
Or 400.
Really?
Plus minus.
Oh, really?
See?
So you set it to 500, but it goes.
Sometimes.
Okay. I guess I remember seeing the graph. It would like go up and then back down. Okay.
No, you may plan to do. You saw it, right? So you can do it.
Yeah, you can,
Oh, okay. It's just.
you can press play. So the issue I'm having is I'm noticing that some of the bonds aren't there.
Ben, any questions or you feel comfortable?
I feel.
And you do not have problems with setting up heating and molecular dynamics for your system?
They should be running.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, will you observe here that maybe there is a heating-induced bond breaking, even without photoexcitation?
Question.
Yes.
Because there's no bond here initially?
Oh,
just visually? Okay.
It's just visually, you can modify it
Okay.
here. Bonds.
Perfect. Okay.
So it is just lines.
Yeah.
But likely you observe depolymerization induced by heat. So if like 400 is like a little above water boiling, and you see that some bonds are breaking, so probably if you dip this polymer in boiling water, it may dissolve or depolymerize. If the calculations are correct, if the settings of the problem are chosen correct, maybe it is wrong, but we suspect that it could be the case. But this was in the ground electronic state, right?
It was.
it was.
Originally, yep.
And it is in ground electronic state.
Yep.
What would happen to this modem if we repeat this heating and molecular dynamics under different electronic configurations? If in addition to heating it was irradiated by UV light?
I'm happy to do that, and I can see what's going on.
Yes.
I don't know the capability of the computer, so my question is can we just be constantly putting in that photon excitation as rather than heat? Just keep somehow adding intensity in some sense?
We can, but it is healthier and quicker to do the thing that I mentioned, like do heat and UV simultaneously. So it's highly likely to bring to more interesting breaking of the depolymerization, and you can use it as a limiting case. Later on, if you want, you can look onto only UV, but there is a danger, not in the common sense, but danger for completing of your project in a limited time.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. If I can get this video, okay.
You need to have VMD on your equipment, and you need to convert this video into YouTube.
I have 3 questions. Okay, one is, how do you make this video longer? how do we do calculations longer to make it go longer? What setting is that?
I'm not sure if there will be enough time for me for the second circle today, but next time I want you to have a window open on Corey or Edison, so that I can quickly make things that we rerun it. But if you have SH, something is strange. You don't have .sh. More anchor. Right here you have 2000, right? But your job was terminated after step number 70. So either I do not know what was happening, but I can make guesses. Either you run it on photon rather than Corey, and you just lost patience or logged off and then it stopped. So the photon is not supposed for running long or heavy jobs. Or in your batch job file, like Corey regular.sh, you didn't specify sufficient amount of resources, and job was terminated earlier.
Okay, so that
you need if the recording will go successfully, you will see my comments on this at the introduction. If you, I'll probably bring it up, and then we will finish session with you because I need to talk to others. But you've got.
very last question.
Okay.
Excited state. Have we done that in class?
No. No. One of you did.
Okay. If we have, then I can look at it.
Let's do it. Probably let's do it together. Otherwise, it will be too long. So I trust you that this is called polyf, but you should figure out what it is. So make a directory polyf md ferve. Copy everything into there. cd cp incar hold copy bin incar ferve into here. And call it incar. and bands. 140, yes, okay. One more question. So, if I'm very weak in arithmetic, I need to divide this by 2. 2 to 4 divided by 2 will be 112. Right? So it is number of HOMO. Number of electrons divided by 2. Correct?
Okay.
Okay. And then number of bands. Let's do it again. Very basic. Number of bands. 192 minus 112. 80. Okay. So I need these two numbers. Quit. VI in car. And I'm not launching the optimization or molecular dynamics. I will only do single point, but with the right keywords. So
what are you changing so I can?
I'll explain. So
Okay.
I'm going to change only the last line.
Okay.
So right now we have 96 plus 1 plus 1 plus 42. Can you help me with math? It will be 98 plus 44 will be like 140, right? This number plus this number plus 1 plus 1.
138, so 140.
Okay. It is total number of orbitals. Our it is in the template, but we will need to modify these numbers. In your problem,
Yep.
the number of orbitals is 192. So we need to modify these numbers in such way so that they are adding together. You will get 192. Also, your HOMO is 112, right?
It's 224. Yeah, 112. Yep.
So if you would put 112 and then the 182, just a second, 80, yeah. If you would have a record like this, so
Yeah.
112 orbitals occupied and 80 orbitals unoccupied, it will be equivalent to ground state.
At that point.
Yeah, so this is dummy calculation that you do not need. It's just logical for thinking.
Okay.
Okay? Now, let's take one electron from this manifold.
Okay.
So I'll put 1 instead of 112, 111. Now 0 here, 1 there, and 1 was here, 79. So total number of occupied and unoccupied is this, orbitals is the same, but the occupations numbers go like 111 occupied, then 1 unoccupied, then 1 occupied, and then 79 unoccupied.
1 occupied, 1 unoccupied, 0 unoccupied, 1 occupied, 79. So we're taking 1 away and moving it, and then taking 1 away.
Yep. And I'm not going to query, although I should and you should always go to query run. Let's hope that the system is small enough to run Photon. If not, we'll need to forward it to query. Okay, I'm losing patience, so I'll probably forward it to core because there it will. Later we can set up competition.
Yeah, so, okay.
No? No, you're director? How do you, okay, you are humble this time, starting with lowercase. And yeah, oh, I do not see many. Oh yes, poly FMD, very good, very good. Poly, very good. I see your hard work. Good. So make directory poly Fervi.
What is very
Legitimate question. Let's look here. VI in car. It's this code for optimizing Fermi weight, optimizing the occupations. Now, what we do? We do SCP. Photon induce you. Then this one. Everything from there to here. Right?
Yep. Well, it's telling us that you ran something beforehand.
It is my penalty for my laziness. In fact, I need only these 4 files. Postcar, podcar, and I pull all the garbage because I'm lazy to type it in. I just put stuff.
Yeah, but my
I know it can be deceptive.
it's just telling me that we've ran something before on Fermi. Okay, even though we've never
Yeah,
ran.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now copy. Submit. Query whatever sh into here. And since it is a quick job, no optimization, likely we will be using query debug. And again, I'm using debug 1, but generally, so this is very humble amount of resources. For any serious problem, you need to use more nodes, more processors, and longer time. It's just here for quick turnaround. So we'll call it Fermi. Now I am submitting. Dispatch.
Perfect. Okay.
And now you do SQ minus U user. And you see your job is here. And if you have nothing else to do, which I doubt, but who knows, or you are just in the watch.
And there's supposed to be like 2 people, right?
If you're on a mood for meditation, just watch how this record progresses in time. And you see what happens to your job. You can hit see how your files, as soon as your job gets to the queue, you will see that files will start changes, and you can follow. Right now you have this inherited information from your previous run, but as soon as your job will get into queue, you'll see this file will change the name.
Okay, while it's queuing, I can help these two if you guys still need help. Are you good?
Oh, many people. I'll talk to others. Enough for today?
For
Okay, the job stuff.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Perfect. What's going on? Oh, nice gap.
It's working the way I wanted to. You have any idea why I'm getting that?
Okay, let's see.
Okay. For what?
Too many.
I actually can find something else right now. Give me that file.
So your gap is 607. Plus minus 100. Move. Just in case if you need it.
Yeah, I'll just do that. So it doesn't really matter. You can actually do heating and molecular dynamics at the ground state and the heating, but it's not like
Start.
So this is what movement is like.
And
So like this is the
okay.
charge system. So my charge system. So point is, this is
What do we need?
This is the application. This is what we call where it
Seems like
is in the other folder, so that I work with it.
okay, don't worry. I stopped tracking all modifications of the code. We will find out.
So this directory, so if you go to global
Strings.
scope this folder. You're going to find
One of them will work.
that's me, that's my stuff. So you just yeah. Well, we're trying to figure that out. So the point is, you're looking for a sample in car file. You should go into that segment of
Probably.
not this segment. These are all my stuff that I did, and we're gonna find that in fire. It should just be kind of here. Yeah, this is the one. This is adding value. Like that is the T began, remembering, T and remembering. You put everything along, except you put the number going down. Everything else.
This one does work, but it misses some important information.
That's how it's done.
See, it doesn't show main data, although it is.
I forgot
So
to
he
add
probably
it.
screwed up something output. And what I last time I was working.
And substituting it in for my optimization. The only thing that's different is I'm using the in card for the optimization. And it sounds really confusing, but I'm kind of doing things backwards. But it should be about the same kind of thing. If I'm heating it before I'm in optimization, but I got heating because usually you wouldn't have heating in your optimization. So
What?
yeah, I mean, actually, it doesn't really matter. I mean, according to the error one, double site, but it'll be interesting to see that for us. So this is, it turns out, double head arrows, you can go backwards and observe them.
Interesting.
You just have to grab it, go to top card, you have to scratch the files for the empty, except the in card needs to be, the other one here. I'm sorry, I'm confused, I got it.
That's right.
You just need this guy.
This.
For the in, have you done your optimization? Okay, so you don't have to worry about this, is all you need is right here. Whatever desired temperature, I just will start there.
Alright, you grab that and see it.
Yeah, yeah.
But then so then when actually someone that over your
Okay, so your, the spec comes from the ops, the DOS comes from the because I did it opposite. So I only had Tennessee states, but I didn't have spec. So that's why I'm bringing it to other departments. Probably backwards. You don't have the aircraft optimization? Okay, so. Okay, so if you can remember, if you can get to.
Interesting.
Just go there and you see all this, the one that's a spec is gonna have the one that you use for, the old part, we'll call it the old part, the simple part, non-working items. The one without the spec is interesting. It's confusing because it won't say MD, but the one, you'll know when you see it. The one that has these small details is your optimization. The one with all that locked out blue is usually. Plus, the most obvious thing is there's temperature. When there's not temperature, then you really have the right file for the optimization.
Alright,
Okay. Then you, when you're done with that in that subdirectory,
Oh.
then you go ahead and do what you
Very
do.
interesting.
And this stuff. Or grab and do it on the farm.
When
And everything that we did and we voted on
large enough,
before, all these plans work.
the rest
You
of
don't have to do it.
but that's good information.
Oh, okay. Well, you can keep going too, because, these things you also, you just transfer it to your desktop. So, yeah, you should be good. Yes. Right, so you haven't optimized it. With, okay. Just go ahead and submit both jobs, 2 different jobs. The one with the in-car in here, right, is gonna be your, molecular dynamics, and the in-car in here is gonna be your optimization. And the difference in optimization is it has the smaller details and it has no temperature. But you need to make sure you have the number of electrons in both files. Alright. So let's.
0. I'll do a couple of attempts, but if it takes too long, I'll try to troubleshoot it from home so that we do not waste time. As soon as files become bigger than some threshold, quantity converts to quality. Okay, I'll better without wasting your time. Are there any questions other than this one?
Not really. I have jobs in the queue waiting to be run.
For
One heating and a couple molecular, or one heating and a couple molecular.
you explore only this model as or couple
This model is doing the heating. I have another model that's working on that's doing molecular dynamics right now.
Good, good. And you do have density of states for
So I have density of states. This is for this model. I didn't download the other model this time, but it had a similar band gap.
Okay. That's good. Do you have the jobs for orbitals?
I cannot.
That's okay, but just plan on it.
Yeah, I
Okay, and please send me a reminder by email.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to do many things in parallel, and with all good intentions can, but I need to troubleshoot it quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for finding limits of applicability. How are you?
Good, you?
Very good, very good.
Alright, so I'm in Corey, and I'm in my PBTE directories.
Do you have any specific questions to me?
So yeah, you sent me an email about the four
Options.
I just wanted to go over them real quick just to see like which
Yes,
one is.
yes, let's discuss it.
So the first one you said is make new directories for each of the models, copy concom files, and ergo the calculations for gamma point only, and then follow.
Ergo was a typo. I have a very aggressive spell checker that changes meaning. Probably redo the calculation for gamma point only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me comment on this.
Yeah, there you go.
Dependence of electronic structure on K vector is critically important for nanowires and generally for any semiconductors. But as a reference point and as a simple calculation so that you can do without damaging your progress in the rest of the remaining of the class time, you can do explore how these systems behave without with gamma point only. You understand more than anyone else that it is a like shortening the truth, cutting the significant portions, but it will be something that you can really complete in a short time.
Okay.
Okay, so this is most practical and most doable in a week.
All right. So when do I have to be done with my research and start writing the report?
Good question. I'll answer to everyone.
Is anyone else knowing that Corey is lagging, or?
Oh, what?
Corey seems to be lagging a little bit.
Yeah, it can be, but if you submit several jobs, typically the jobs do not disappear even if there are some troubleshooting for the overall system. Please correct, can you please check if I'm reproducing calendar correctly?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So here is the plan. And here will be May 1st. So today we are here. So I'm going to give 2 academic lectures with new material tomorrow and coming Tuesday. Basically, you should consider to complete your projects about complete in a week from now, right? At least complete all calculations. Of course, nothing is possible to do to perfection, but if you need to add something later, you can do. But try to submit as much, develop the full vision of your project. Submit as much as jobs today, so that you can analyze data, generate figures on coming Wednesday, in a week from now.
So
right?
on May 1st then? Would be the
Wait, wait,
Oh.
So on the Thursday, April 25th, it will be non-academic. I will just give instructions how to write written reports. So it will be like writing class. Okay, and we will discuss if instead of going through equations, we will just discuss how to analyze data and how to write a report. Okay? After the weekend on April 30th, I am expecting the final draft of reports. So you will have the weekend to implement the suggestions on how to write it. Okay? You think it is not possible?
We'll make it work.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. And on April 30th, we did together in this class, and Gage knows it from previous class, as we do collective homework grading.
we'll do the same thing, collective editing of the drafts, right? So I'll collect and then distribute back, and everyone will read through and tell, I never read such a masterpiece, or I never read such a poor writing, whatever you see.
What is this?
Yeah. And then I'm not sure if we will be able to do anything on May, because there will be very important seminar, and I will give you an announcement and invite everyone. It will be very related to the class. But about by May 1st, we will do last lab to tied up loose ends. And May 8th will be the formal day of exam for this class. Probably it will be same room, same time, or with little adjustments. And by this, by May 2nd, I am expecting final versions of the reports. Okay? And by May 8th, I expect everyone to make presentations based on reports.
So that's our final examination?
Yes.
Presentation.
Instead of final examination, you will just do presentations. Right?
Is May 8th during finals week?
Yes. If you really insist, I may try to do it on May 2nd, but maybe a little later is better.
No, it's fine. May 8th is fine.
And you're the advisor of U3 will be on international travel until May 3rd, and he really wanted to see how you perform on the presentations.
The time on that May 8th, is that the normal class time that would be coming in?
I'll give you an update. There are some university rules how to, like, if the regular class time was like at from 5 and later, the exam will be also at 5 p.m. on Tuesday.
Oh, I see.
The university administration takes care that there are no overlaps with other exams.
Okay, well, no, because I have a final, both Mead and I have a final, and Anas have a final at 8 a.m. that day, 8 to 10.
And it will be like evening time.
Okay, so
and you can prepare ahead of time, earlier.
Okay.
The presentations are on May 8th. It doesn't mean that you need to prepare everything at the night from 7th to 8th, right?
Okay.
I know that we all do this way, but
okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't in the morning, like we were
No.
Okay.
And I'll stay flexible if you write that there are some conflicts. I'll try to mitigate them. So you may ask what I'm going to do from May 2nd to May 8th. Why do I need so long time elapse between your submission of final versions of reports and your presentations, right?
Yes.
It's a legitimate question. So did you got the booklets at the beginning of the semester?
Yeah. We still
So
have-
I will work on arranging a little publishing so that by the time of presentation you'll get copies of everyone's works. It will be like little books.
Very nice.
And it will take time. I will hire a professional editor to make like a cover and things, but a weekend is not too much for completing the things. So if you submit on Thursday, I'll use weekend, Friday, weekend, and Monday to complete and print and bring, so that usually when you do presentations, we were following little printouts of your slides. For the like final presentation, you will follow whatever speaker is doing based on the actual paper.
And we get those reports by midnight to you on the 2nd? What time do you want us to turn in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I actually by midnight of Thursday, so that I can start working on the booklets on Friday morning.
Okay, so midnight of Thursday.
Yes. Yes. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, who asked this question? Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for bringing this up for everyone.
Okay?
So ergo me, instead of
Redo.
Okay. Redo the calculations for gamma point only, then follow the steps for homework 1.
Not 1, though, whatever was the last homework number for everyone, 10? I forgotten what it was. Everyone, the things that everyone was doing.
Oh, you mean the one you told me to do, like momentum dispersion instead of that?
But now you already have momentum data, and on the top of that you can you did complicated things, and now you can add simple things on the top of that.
Okay.
Like gamma point, density of states, spectra, orbitals, and then coherent with everyone you can take these gamma point models and hit them and do molecular dynamics.
Okay.
I think it is the simplest way to complete in the given time.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Should we go further? Just for your...
Just tell me what 2 and 3 now. Can you elaborate on
Okay,
them?
okay. So I understand that it could be not doable in the until the end of the course, but right now your nanowires are very long, right? And there is a... It's not a theorem, but it is a hypothesis that if your model is very long, it has many unit cells, one doesn't need K-points at all. It's like replaceable, either make short model with many K-points or long model with 1 K-point.
Okay.
So we can trim your model into, like right now it has like 200 ions or whatever, and we can do it into like 16 atoms.
So just go into Gauss view and delete atoms until there's only...
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And if I would have time, I would be very happy to do it, but you may try on your own, or we can consult and do it cooperatively. And then for shorter, for only a small fragment of this nanowire, one definitely needs K-points, and your dispersion curves will look richer,
Okay.
more rich with more features.
All right.
Right now they look boring, right? Simple. If you do shorter, it will be like valleys, hills, a little
Right.
more advanced structure.
So if I decide to do number 2, do you think that will take longer than number 1 for me, or?
It may not take longer, but it there, you know, like 1 is standard thing that everyone is doing. It is predictable. Number 2 could be shorter, but you may hit the wall and see some unpredictable things that will either discourage you or just stop. So it's a little more creative, and you need to recognize it. So 1 is safer. Okay? And if you do both in parallel, you may expire the given time.
All right, and then you said number 3, consulting with those 2 professors is the hardest one.
Yes. So let me explain. If you follow the data that you have right now, or if you do step 2, you will have electronic structure with many K-points. The codes that we are doing for density of states and for absorption spectra will not work for this data, for these wave cars. One needs our changed, updated codes. And these 2 individuals, they are postdocs in my group, and you've seen them on group meetings. You may see their emails in the distribution that I'm sending before group meetings. They did publications and actual computational work, and they should be able to share the analog of the code for oscillator strengths and for density of states and explain how it works. It's not super complicated, but you know, any little bit of new information can slow down the process. And it could be prudent to do simplest thing to be sure, and if you feel excited about it, to go further and dig deeper.
All right, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do number 3 because I only have a week to do research. Maybe I could do it in the summer, but I won't worry about number 3 right now.
That's okay. That's okay. I just want you to see the whole picture and navigate by your own decisions.
Okay, so you said number 1 might be longer, but it's safer and predictable. Number 2 might be shorter, but you said if unexpected things happen, it's going to depend on my ability to interpret it and understand it.
Yes, yes. And again, it also depends on your not only on your thinking, but also how you prepare models. It's additional degree
Wait,
human.
so for number 2, if I go into like gas view and like delete all those atoms so that there's only 16 atoms left, will I have to make new like postcar and potcut files for
Exactly.
that?
Yes. You're very welcome to do it, but well, again, you decide yourself. Probably one of the ways would be like launch jobs for step 1, because you do not update geometries, same as everyone is doing. And after that, if you have time and steam, you are going to step 2, so that you have like safety caution.
Okay, so you recommend that I do a step 1 first, and then if I have time, do step 2.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
But you said it's up to me.
Oh yes. Yes. Like
I just fill up my calendar, all the things.
creativity is supported. We are living in a free country, so you decide what. Some people like challenging path rather than boring and safe, but it's your decision. I probably myself would do number 1, but you decide.
Okay, so number 1 you said once again is making like density of states, spectra, absorption spectra,
Orbitals, like only HOMO and WOMO, because otherwise it will be too much. And then running molecular dynamics and see how the absorption dose and orbitals change after several steps of molecular dynamics.
All right.
Okay.
This is something I want to think about.
Please do. No pressure.
Okay.
Pressure. And you may enjoy talking to Kurt.
Okay.
If you didn't, because playing open cards, he is doing a system that is composed of 2 nanowires in the same simulation cell, and he's looking for charge transfer between them. So your work, if it is done in the right way, will serve as a perfect foundation for the project that he's doing.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have time to look into these foundation aspects. He needs, also because of limited time, jump right into charge transfer aspects.
All right.
And you may just talk as a colleagues and learn from each other.
Okay. All right, I'll think about it and get back to you tomorrow.
Please. Done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you in a rush to leave, or you have a couple of minutes?
That's like the same.
I have a few minutes. Okay, I need to do a quick phone call and then I'll come back.
Okay. Yeah, they look exactly the same, yeah. Did you put the number of electrons in no?
There wasn't a way to
You have to add. Manually, yeah. Just remember to put that in. But yeah, it looks good to me.
everything's else is pretty science.
Yeah, that's pretty
I'm done. It's the minute my job doesn't get out here.
So then each time I heat it after we run the electrodynamics are on, so it'll be
You
like.
heated it in increments. So if you start at 300, then you go 400, then you go like 600, then you go 700. But you got to do the temperature in the beginning because it's adiabatic. So then if you're doing it in increments, you have to do it each time. So you run your 300, you got that, you
Yeah.
got that data. Make another drag creep, run it with 400.
And take all the files that run original directory and have them
I'd ask him for sure on that one because, yeah, it basically you're looking at the energy. You're going to be looking at the Aussie car and determining how stable it is. So you can do videos with those and see how your system's behaving. So I guess it's. Oh, I'm tired.
It's a grep oscillation, and then you're making an oscillar.
I golly, I think I did everything on this today.
No, I make a new directory, and I save, I copy the pond product as a postcard once the
So you type CP concar in space postcard?
Yeah, or whatever it is.
That have been on your like,
These are all attached to the postcard, we don't need to rotate the postcard again. Only the experts
so you only need to rotate it because the script that converts from actual lead to mass needs that postcard underscore postcard is the same, so it's just
Yes?
We still having this TT0.
I don't know.
Your question is much easier than the one by David Grobner. He just challenged me to death.
Oh, it did?
I just got done running the MD.
Okay, are you in a rush?
No.
Okay, then I'll help them because he needs to depart like, right now, and then you are not in a super rush. I have a feeling that Gage is.
You're more of a rush than I am.
I'm running into here that in preparing the DOS, I don't have the number of states here. You're supposed to find it from that one, but
I think you're bringing the same thing I'm running into is how do we actually run the molecular dynamics?
this is before I get to that because I have enough resources at home that I can run the molecular dynamics. I just need to know basically how many states there are.
Okay, okay, I've got your question. Aha, okay. It looks like it is done or it is running. So, grab National Basketball Association out car. Number of bands 384. Let's go to your. So. Something out car. So maybe the job is still running, but we can look into states. So here are the region near the gap, and it looks like there is no gap, which is fine. If there is an active combustion, then it could be okay. But a little note: you may explore your system with spin polarized way. Do not take it as pressure. Maybe do it in parallel with other activities. And the reason is, you know, liquid oxygen is paramagnetic.
Sure.
So it takes a single oxygen molecule, takes a triplet configuration when number of spins up and down are different by 2.
Okay.
Therefore, for running it, I spin equals 2 could be reasonable. Just consider it's you take free decisions, but now number of states. Let me do something. There is a way which I considered a little obsolete and silly, but before running developing some course, I was doing it all the time. So no, VI
states. Let me do all these things quickly. So I'm going to this region with where occupied turns into unoccupied. And
3 years are replaced.
just pasting it into a file named states. And then follow everything.
Okay.
So the states file is the only thing that is needed for DOS, right? And now you can do it.
Okay.
Does it resolve your question?
Yeah. So I'll start running that home and should be done by the morning, I would think.
Okay.
Thank you.
Probably something very similar.
It is what your printer does for titanium dioxide?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And you can
Super. Perfect.
Okay. And I'm working on trying to get the other. This one's going to be. I'll need to find a larger printer because this would be roughly about yay big, give or take.
Do you need I may find some ways for like departmental support for the cost if there is a need for supplies or whatever.
I'll talk with people I know because it shouldn't cost too much. I mean, like this I was able to print out at work for free. But the actual questions I have, I need to make sure I have my in-car files right before I started actually submitting jobs and everybody so I can make academics for a whole separate step. So this was the in-car that came with that model that I'm working with, the two iodines and two sodiums. Mary showed me a different in-car from one of the epoxy models.
Escape Q exclamation.
There we go. Okay.
So I was disfocused. Please repeat the question, just generally before talking about details.
Do I have my in-car file correct to begin running molecular dynamics and heating at 300 degrees Kelvin? That's
okay.
So
I've got the question.
Yep.
And you are aware that heating and molecular dynamics are different runs.
That's molecular dynamics in ground state, then heating, and then running on molecular dynamics on that once that comes back.
Yes. So there are different degrees of freedom, ions and electronic configurations.
Mm-hmm.
And if suppose that we select only the ground state electronic configuration, then we look only for nuclear degrees of freedom. There are jobs for optimization, for heating, and for molecular dynamics.
Okay.
And optimization is independent from those, but heating and molecular dynamics are connected. There is no reason to do molecular dynamics before or without heating. You need to do heating, then inherit cont car from heating into post car for molecular dynamics, and then run molecular dynamics.
Okay, so first heat it, then run the molecular dynamics.
Yes.
And then heat it again. Okay.
Not if you need to explore different temperature,
Okay.
which you're not, if you're not considering, it's fine. But you can do in parallel preparations for different temperatures.
Yeah, I guess. CD, LS. So, oops. CD.
Space. Oh, it works without space. Good.
Okay, so.
Oh, you have several temperatures. That's
I was gonna do it because that's normally, because 300 Kelvin's kind of give or take room temperature. 600 Kelvin's where they normally operate, and 1,000 Kelvin just because I know that's going to begin to it should begin to break down there. So I guess I'll just go back into the CD 38, 42, and then 300. 300 was the one I was going to kind of set up for. 300 Kelvin LS. So these are the 4 files I grabbed from the model, the model that you had given me. The in-car had come from something that Mary had shown me, and I just want to make sure that was correct before I tried to actually submit the job.
okay. But
Yes. I didn't modify anything, and I just updated the number of electrons to the number of electrons in this model.
That's good.
That was my fault.
Okay. Good. This one looks to me like in-car for molecular dynamics. You did very good that you consulted. So here is your postcard, right?
Yep.
And that's Mary is not here. She will not criticize me for blaming her for something. When she was doing her presentation, and she did very nicely that she put a question on one of her slides. Where is information about temperature and kinetic energy? And then she didn't answer. And I tried to bring her. So there are 2 segments of this Cartesian information. Here are coordinates, and if you scroll through, here are zeros. These 3 Cartesian projections mean it is px, py, pz for atom number 1 are zeros. It doesn't move.
Okay.
So it's initial condition for the differential equation. No velocity, no derivative. Like if you set of differential equations, you need to set up initial conditions for initial value of function and then initial derivative of function.
Okay.
Right?
It's been a little while, but yes.
And if you if your initial velocity is 0 and system is in equilibrium, it will move nowhere. So you need to set this segment of information to non-zero values. If you would have smart procedure to do it other than running VASP heating, you are welcome to do it. But VASP heating is the best one.
Okay.
It's just a procedure. So before you
because we can't get any convergence if it's already at a perfect equilibrium.
it will not move.
Yep.
It will be static. So what I suggest to do is make directory and tell that we are going to heat. Okay?
Okay.
Then copy everything into there. Then
Okay. So I just copy the 4 files that we
yes,
had in there.
yes. And then I am either removing or maybe copying your in-car as historic, just in case, and removing the in-car because I do not want it.
Okay.
Now, taking the bin in-car heat into here, and actually I do need to call it in-car, right?
Yep.
going into there, and now starting modification. Start, end, 300 steps. Maybe 300 steps is not needed, but who knows? Let's run. From now on, you are safe, and the plan is run in this directory. Then it will develop a concar file. Then you bring concar from heating to just this 300 Kelvin, and then run your
run that
yes,
file that Mary
yes,
showed me.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay. So now I do just
Yeah.
I need to go get a script and then
Right.
and we're on Corey this time.
Submit Corey SH everything into here. There are this debug stuff, but they will not work. Probably will not work for this huge system. So
I mean, even if this takes a couple hours, I'm gonna just keep going through notes and making sure I know which way's
Corey
up.
regular SH. So let's modify it because I Corey regular SH. Definitely 30 minutes, no way sufficient. Let's do like 8 hours. One processor is not sufficient. So like 10 to 40. Okay?
Okay.
Escape. Okay. And then
Dispatch.
I didn't modify. It will not accept it. It will say bad words to me. You see? Because you cannot run
debug.
Yeah, you need to replace debug with regular. And you also you could have, or I could have changed -J to like explanation of nature of your system, because right now you do qstat. Not qstat is different. Is PBS entry. Here we do sq. Sq user. You see that the our classmates submitted quite a number of jobs, and the one you did. Well, if you want to be very meticulous, you can record this number.
Yeah, I'll be meticulous then.
And see, right now everything is PD, but I guarantee that within a week the jobs will be completed. And also, saving resources is good, but not when we have finished semester 2. Tomorrow or this night, Edison will be back, and you may make a duplicate of this directory, like _Edison, copy everything and try to submit it there. Maybe it will, and set up a race who will submit the same job, complete the same job. Yeah.
Okay, so after this comes back, then it's
Copy concar from here to the same file without label heat.
and 300 Kelvin, and then do molecular dynamics
Yes.
on the 300 Kelvin.
And
then to heat it again, to bring it to, if I just want to bring it to
repeat protocol for other directories. Like for each, right now you have 3 directories: 300, 600, 1000.
Yep.
You need 6. 300 heat, 300. 600 heat, 600. 600 heat, 1000 heat, 1000.
Okay.
Right? And
then I should be able to get me so I can get to
Yep.
density of states and get to IR spectroscopy,
Right.
and then have something I can actually write about.
Very good.
And then just repeat that all for. If I manage to make it through all of that, would it be more valuable for me to repeat that on a second model right now, with the 3 sodiums and 3 iodines? Because right now I'm doing the 2 iodines and two sodiums. Or would you want me just to freeze the gold ball and run the molecular dynamics.
You may not complete it within the course. If you want to continue, we can try after.
Okay,
If you have
okay.
interest and time. But if you have steam to do something on a short counted register, you may look into the model that doesn't have 111. And if you look on the models how they look like, you will see that chemical composition is the same, but the way how atoms are arranged is different.
Okay.
It's like different crystallographic growth. Also,
Because those are the ones I was talking about. So I've been looking at those, and yeah, I guess I didn't look at that closely, but they had the 3 sodiums and 3 iodines.
Better take the same chemical composition, but without 111 label, or with 100 label.
Okay.
Also, you may talk as a colleague to Kevin. Approach him, ask him to show his models, and try to correlate what you are doing and what he's doing.
Okay.
His work is like fundamental background for your work.
Okay, so I'm not insane in thinking I've skipped like 30, 40 steps. Okay.
And I have some appointment where I need to go, but there for each nanowire for same composition there are different ways how atoms are arranged in space, and results scientific can be very different.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually one of the things you can see on here is how the bond lengths change. So like these bonds are not the same length as this one. I thought it was just interesting that you can actually physically see that.
Yeah, this is really cool. Last one. Last but not least.
So I'm still getting the,
okay,
even after running.
Okay. Grab T equals apostrophe Rosicar bigger TT or TT. Okay?
Oh, so I had to do that step first.
Yes, yes. So you parse any line that includes T equals
Okay.
from Osicar to TT file.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Happy?
Okay. Then now I can see. Okay. Okay.
And now you can do GNU plot as Anas did.
One question then I'm done. For that Fermi,
Uh-huh.
is that something I have to add to another molecular dynamics, or is that it for?
You better add it everywhere. Like you can do molecular dynamics and things without Fermi, but everyone else in the class do it. You are the only one who is specifically focused on Fermi. So like it is your unique specialization right now.
Yeah. So all we did was put ionite. I want to say we ionized it, but we put in enough energy to move the electron real quick, right? Or
We promote electron from occupied to unoccupied.
Yep. So then the question is you want me to do optimization, heating, and then molecular dynamics, all three?
Yes, and
okay.
each time in the in-car, you make sure you add this Fermi line. It is not in the template, but it is your responsibility to put it there. And then you will see wonders. Make sense? Make sense?
Yeah, so whatever, I don't know, Fermi line, what's that, 11101, whatever. Okay, yeah.
And your, if everything done correctly, your work is closest to publication in the whole class.
Cool, alright, I'll do that.
Well, if you do not screw it up.
Yeah.
See, after molecular dynamics movie is generated means I can open only from it was VMD.
You can watch it with JMO. Yes, but VMD is the best because on JMO you can only watch, and on VMD you can do movies.
So this is the command you told that from Cori to Kilin.
Yes.
Photon.
Yes.
SCP space star space Kilin. This photon or fort?
Photon. Wait. Photon chem ndsu doc.edu and colon, and then you need to what is it?
This is Cori. This photon.
PWD make directory. How do you call it here? PMMA1-MD. PMMA1 underscore is better. Dash MD. CD PWD, and now you are copying this one into here.
You don't need to type movie specific. You're using every file.
Because I'm lazy to type movies.
Okay. No, no problem.
So can you call use that down? Don't change anything else. Set them down.
CHEM676 movie.
For you're going to do the new plot?
Yeah, set time down and then plot TT
3WL. Yeah, L.
Which is which? Wait. There are two JMOs, right? This probably is
This
the
probably,
new one.
Movie.
Now the spacing is a problem, huh?
Wait, this looks like you did, it is from heating job, right? Yes?
Heating?
Heating,
Heating, yeah.
there is no reason to generate movie out of heating. You need to, after heating, you need to do molecular dynamics.
This is molecular dynamics.
Send me email with this link to this directory, and I will troubleshoot it from home. The movie shouldn't look this way. Okay, you can keep sitting here. I just have some promises that I try to fulfill, so I need to depart.
Don't understand.
Thank you.